Hey, what up, boys and girls? This is Taylor. Probably should have started this off with sluts, because every time I don't call you guys sluts at the beginning of the video, somebody or other gets in the comment section and goes and has a tiff, and they're like, "Why didn't you call us sluts? Are you seeing someone else on the side?" Which is entertaining to me because, in like the vast majority of contexts, slut is perceived as derogatory. But I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it back to the good side. Redeeming that word, just like the homosexuals did with the word queer. We're all on the same team. Good for us. And as always, if you enjoy these, leave a rating. And it doesn't take long. Helps me. It's a win-win. And also, think of it like this. If you're walking down the street later and there's a homeless guy there and he's like, change, change, while his hands tremble and his muscles are atrophied and he's struggling to move around, you can be like, you know what? I'm not going to give him change tonight because my one deed of benevolence was already clicking that like button on my computer earlier when I was watching Taylor's video. So you know what? I'm going to keep this change and go buy myself a few gumballs and then probably just end up throwing them or cracking them on the ground because they don't taste very good anyway. So that's what I'm going to do. You can justify your evil deeds thusly. So anyway, on to the topics, and I'm doing them from the bottom up on my Twitter feed right now to make sure that the people who sent them in first are taking precedence over those who sent them in later, just because I've done it plenty of times where I do it the opposite way, and the people who ask it first don't get answered, so I feel bad. Anyway, first person. NeoORFCO. If you decide to get a real job after college, what will it be? I'm definitely going to get a real job after college, but I'm kind of resent the fact that you don't think what I do right now is a real job. People, I know they obviously say, oh, this isn't a real job, you're just doing stuff on YouTube, but you know what? It's like, yeah, hell yes, it is a real job. I am doing something. Lots of people support their entire families with YouTube, and despite what you may think, it's really not that easy. It's just not. If you guys want to dispute that, hop on here and then just start talking in a long monologue. Try and be interesting and somewhat entertaining, or at least in your own sense of humor. Don't try to mimic people, and then see where it goes. See what happens. It's a lot more difficult than you would think. And I'm not saying, see if you can get as many views as me, because that's what counts. No, I'm talking about see, how difficult it is just to sit down and just talk like this and think of topics. And go, even on Twitter questions like this, I have to be ready to answer things right in the moment, which isn't a brag thing or anything. It's really not that difficult. But to do it and be semi-entertaining is also pretty difficult. So I think this definitely is a real job. But as far as your question is concerned, good sir, I will most likely do something in marketing, and hopefully someday I'll be financially stable enough that I can go back to school, go to graduate school, get my PhD in either some form of neuroscience, just because that's supremely interesting to me. And I would just like to know that before I die, I contributed just a tiny little, like a little grain of knowledge to the human species. I want to know that I contributed something before I pass away, and my bones become dirt and dust, and then maggots will eat me, and then I'll grow into a beautiful oak tree, completing the circle of life, which I don't know if that really made sense. There's a circle of life. That's more like a half circle of life, because then that tree will give oxygen to people who are breathing, so it's really not even... I don't know what geometric shape that would be of life, but it's one, don't doubt me. So yeah. Enemer. Generic question man here. If you could have any superpower, what would it be? I would have the ability to drain other people's powers, and not just other superpowers, but drain other regular people's powers, and I would sap that and keep all the power that I stole, And so what I would do if Superman came up to me and he was trying to start shit, I'd be like, all right, Superman, bam. Suck all his power, give it to me. Now he's a withered old man, husk on the ground. Not an old man, I don't know why he would turn old, but he's withering there, shaking because his muscles are so weak, and he's like, oh, don't kill me, as I take this ball peen hammer, just boom, 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 just right in the temple. It's a pretty bloody death, but, Superman, he can handle it. He's a tough guy. I'll just continue to do that until the end. I'll have to coat the ball peen tip with, ball peen, that sounds so dirty. I'd have to coat it with, kryptonite, or whatever it is that makes him die. I was never a big comic book or Superman fan, but that's what I would do, and I could use it on regular people. So let's say I'm walking out of a bar, bouncer's giving me shit, or a bunch of drunk douches are giving me shit. I walk up, bam, all of their strength is to me. Maybe if there are a lot of girls watching me, I take 70% of each of their strength, and then I just beat the shit out of all of them and let them get in a few solid punches on me, so then the girls have something like a wound to touch afterward. It's going to be great. You're getting laid out the waz with that. So that's what I would do. Also, bank robbing, my potential for that just skyrocketed, nobody's business. Pretty much every kind of crime just became more feasible for me. So I don't know why I immediately went to the villain side of things. My God, I need to go to a psychiatrist. Hexadon 12, if you were to alter one thing about the human race, what would it be? Well, Hexadon, it would be to make it so that logic and reason took precedence over emotion, because we would lose a lot fewer lives and save a lot more money and put money in funds and in exploits that we could actually, use, like the space program and things that we could enjoy, and really propagate the species much more efficiently. And so I'm saying that's the only thing that I would change, given the opportunity to pick one. Well, I guess saying only is kind of ridiculous there, because I only get one. But, that'd be a lot better. Imagine if everyone around you, presented with a scenario, they thought about it logically and the best way to handle it, instead of being like, oh, how does this make me feel? Think about it. Ethan with like 6 A's. Wings Woody Kyle, you gotta have sex with one, marry one, kill one, go. Now, do you mean I can only kill one and I can only marry one, but can I have sex with more than one? Is there like a limit? Is there like is it at least one? Because if that's the answer, then I'm gonna go with all three in the first one. Have a big party of it. Have a bunch of classy wines. Just make a thing. Make a video of it. Get a ton of subs. Then marry one. I guess I'd marry Kyle because I think he's closest in age to me. And then I would kill. I don't know. This is the way I would kill one. I would make them decide. I'd put them in a huge ring, and they'd have to have like a death match. And on every wall, there'd be like a board or something on there that held up like really crazy weapons, and so they'd have to get those. So there'd be like a samurai sword on one, or like a butcher's cleaver on another, and that'd be really awesome. Or I could put like less sharp weapons and make it like a cool thing. And I would also film that and put it on my channel. A lot of views. So that's the incentive there. Hope that answered your question. Goliath 548. Who is your favorite fiction writer? As of right now, I'd say I'm enjoying George R.R. Martin, but I also enjoy R.A. Salvatore. I enjoy a little bit of Ray Bradbury. I've mentioned that before. I like the big name Stephen King books. I like those. I'm not such a huge Stephen King fan that I've read a ton of his stuff, because he writes a novel a week, it seems. But It is good. The Dark Tower series is good. What else? I'm sure that's enough. I'm sure that's sufficient. Everybody else is like, oh, I'm going to exit out of this video. We're talking about books. Jesus Christ. Absolute GFX. Discuss the whole Mitt Romney owning shares in a company which disposes of fetuses thing. Honestly, that doesn't even surprise me. He's a completely morally bankrupt dude. Like, I have no problem with the whole disposal of fetuses. What are you supposed to do? Just, like, keep them around? Like, just save them, mount them on the wall? Jesus. That's demented of you, Absolute GFX. That's gross. Why would you even think of that? God. But, I don't care. Let him do what he wants. But, eventually people will find him out and see that he's the true douche, and he's not going to get elected. He just won't. Connor97M, your personal favorite porn site. Oh, too many to count. Man. Can't even answer. J Mills Clutch, people who ride your tail while you're driving. What I like to do is slam on my brakes and just pretty much give them a heart attack, but maybe not slam on my brakes, but tap my brakes a few times and let them know that I'm not going to play that shit, and then they tend to like back off a little bit. Although when I look in the back, I can see their mouths forming expletives and their fingers waving wildly in the air as though to express some form of discontent with my actions. I'm not quite sure, though. Chris Wachtler, do you like anime? If yes, which is your favorite? Keep up all the good work. All the best from Switzerland. Thank you, from Switzerland. That's awesome. But no, I don't like anime unless like Pokemon counts as anime, and even then I haven't seen an episode of Pokemon in like 10 years, so can't really answer. But I guess I'd have to say Pokemon. Judy Fio, why don't you say thread in the needle anymore? All right, I'll say thread in the needle more. I forget. I'm sorry, man. Why don't you use punctuation, huh? Why don't you use a question mark? You see how that makes me feel? See how that makes me feel? Yeah, now we're on the same level. Berend XD, what are your top 5 games? Thanks for reading. I'd say number 1 would be Pokemon. I've said that before. Playing that as a kid right up after you got back from school, nothing better than that. It was fan-freaking-tastic. 2, I'd have to say Call of Duty 4. 2 is Black Ops because I enjoy zombies a lot. 3 is going to be Black Ops 2 because I enjoy zombies so much, but it might take the place of Black Ops because I just know it's a zombie game. It's going to take a spot on there. Then I liked COD 4, and I'd have to think about it. Like I really don't play games that much. But maybe Skyrim. Skyrim was fun, or maybe Goldfinger, that really old game that was on, I think it was GameCube maybe, or N64. GoldenEye was on N64. That game was so much fun. That's on there.